Welcome to Constitutional Chisme, a law baddie's guide to legal basics. I'm your host, Stephanie.
And I'm your co-host, Harleigh. Every week, we are going to drop an episode that we think you are likely to cover in your first year of law school or some other bar course that you'll experience on your law school journey. Make sure you're paying close attention to the podcast, both before we even start the episode and as we're discussing the case, because we're going to drop little Easter eggs of what case we plan to do next. I do actually I wanna start here at the top with a really important announcement. Um,
I gotta stop
so I
laughing
do
at that
I do have
pizza
something
joke.
important. My name is Tonka Jahari, but I would never order an entire pizza. Um,
It's just, it's just so funny.
uh,
Okay, sorry. What were you saying? You wanted to start off with
no,
something
but lock
important.
in. This is really important.
Locking in.
So we may have to put the pod. We we will need to put the podcast on hold possibly for an indefinite amount of time.
The one we just started.
Yeah, the one we just started. So,
Okay.
unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, this is actually really exciting news. John Legend did reach out and he heard the pod. He heard my singing on the pod and he wants to sign me. So,
Oh yeah.
uh,
What song
yeah,
are
so
you gonna sing? Does he have one you're gonna
um
cover?
I cannot think of a John Legend song that saved my life.
It could be any person. It doesn't have to be him.
I'm gonna cover Happy by Pharrell.
Can you give us a short clip?
I can't. I'm actually under a really strict NDA when it
No
comes
way
to
you're under
the
a strict
actual.
NDA if you just told us that.
Oh my god, Stephanie, I don't know if you know how NDAs work, but they can be specific, and it's specific as to the recording process. Okay, I can tell you what the song will be, but we're doing a
You
really
can't tell
unique
us.
take on it. We're doing a
Why don't
really
you
unique take on it, and John is very serious about this.
why don't you just, like, not use the unique take and just sing the regular take
Um,
since that's not part of the NDA?
that's not part of the NDA.
Thank God I went to
No,
law
I
school
don't
so you can't punk
I don't
me.
I don't will.
Okay.
Yeah. This
Alright.
is who you're asking to know about Pennoyer v. Neff, by the way.
Is that the case we're doing today? I was supposed to guess. I wanna give a huge shout out to no one because nobody guessed the next case.
Since nobody figured it out.
So, congrats, nobody. I am gonna give you $1
Congrats!
million check. That was the first and last time
Surprise!
I'm giving that prize.
You missed it!
And a free trip to anywhere in
And
the
a free
world.
trip to literally anywhere. You pick. Throw a dart at a map, babe, and you could have gone.
Your
So,
loss.
but we will be giving it to no one. So congratulations, no one.
Someone's gonna change their name to no one and be like, "Give it to me right now."
Give it to me right now. This is about to be the Pepsi Jet incident all over again. We'll get into that case another time, okay? We're not doing contracts today.
Mhm.
We'll get into the Pepsi Jet case another time. You're gonna have to edit out me sniffling 8 billion times, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sorry. Don't
Sorry.
agree. You just say it's okay. I don't even care. It's
Editing's
fine.
really hard. I do care.
Girl, I'm gonna sniff after every word so that you have to edit
I'm
literally
just
every
gonna keep
second of
it.
the
I
pod.
don't even care at that point.
You're
How
just gonna
many
keep
times did
it?
Harleigh
Okay, well then
sniff? That's the next
the
question.
first person to correctly guess the number of Geff?
Yef.
Hmm. My name is Geff. Do you not remember that from 22 Jump Street?
No.
No? Okay. He says my name is Jeff. Okay. Never mind. My name is Neff.
Alright, lock in, Harleigh.
Oh my god.
Congratulations for John Legend reaching out to you
Thank
Congratulations to no
you.
one for guessing what the next case is.
The case is, in fact, Pennoyer versus Neff. Now,
Mhm.
Stephanie, this is one of the most foundational cases when it comes to civil procedure. Okay, so today's case is Pennoyer v. Neff.
Mhm.
So this is one of the like foundational cases for civil procedure because it's where the court really sets up the building blocks for personal jurisdiction.
Okay.
Now, I know that we really haven't tackled that topic yet,
Yeah.
but just to give kind of a brief overview, in order for a federal court to hear a case, it has to have both subject matter jurisdiction and personal jurisdiction.
Mhm.
So, subject matter jurisdiction is essentially the power of the court to hear a case of a particular type. So, that
Mhm.
can be people from different states suing each other. That can be someone suing another person based on a federal law, but it's
Mhm.
essentially the subject matter of the case itself, whether or not
Mhm.
the federal court can hear it. Now, personal jurisdiction is the court's ability to hear a case against a particular person.
Wait, so does that include corporations or no, since they're not real people?
So, yes, it does include corporations, but the court will have to tackle that in a different way later on because the thing about corporations is they exist kind of everywhere and nowhere.
Mhm.
So, when does the court really have jurisdiction over something that exists both in every state and no state at the same time?
Mhm.
So, personal jurisdiction, just because you sue someone, Binks, you're really killing this for me.
It's okay, I had to cough.
That's okay. I had to
It's okay.
sniffle. Binks, shut the fuck up. Mommy's doing a podcast.
I'm keeping that in.
Please don't. Oh my god. He really hates personal jurisdiction.
You gotta you ran away.
He's gone. He's gone now. Okay.
Now I'm gonna have to put warning curse words in this podcast.
Warning profanity. Just kidding. Just edit that out and you don't have to put a warning.
Okay, I'll think about it.
I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna go on blast and I'm gonna get accused of animal abuse.
I was president of ALDF, so I'll help you.
Please. Wouldn't that
You
mean
never
you
came to a
help
meeting,
Binks?
y'all.
It's the animal defense fund. Aren't you defending Binks?
Girl, tell me about the case.
Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
personal jurisdiction is the court's ability to hear a case against a particular person. So just because they have subject matter jurisdiction, like let's say I sue you for
Mhm.
violating a federal law.
Could you give an example of what federal law is for the listeners?
Sure. So, like, an example of federal law would be like any type of intellectual property. So, think a trademark, a copyright, things like that are
Mhm.
typically within federal jurisdiction. So,
Mhm.
if I brought a suit against someone for violation of a trademark, then that would
Mhm.
be federal, which means a federal court would have subject matter jurisdiction over that case.
Okay, perfect. And I know later on, not in this case, we'll go over subject matter jurisdiction, and there's 2 different ways to have subject matter jurisdiction, which is either federal law or diversity jurisdiction, but we'll get into that a
Yeah,
different time.
we'll get into that another day. That's a bridge we cross on a day that's not today.
Yeah.
So, Pennoyer is basically the first time the court handles how it can establish personal jurisdiction.
Mhm.
Now, I do want to say at the top of this, before we get into all of this, that
Mhm.
technically Pennoyer v. Neff is no longer the law of the land.
Okay.
There is a little bit more of a complicated test for personal jurisdiction,
Mhm.
But because Pennoyer kind of has the historical basis for where personal jurisdiction started, a lot of civil procedure courses are going to start with Pennoyer when
Mhm.
teaching personal jurisdiction.
Okay.
So, this case was decided in 1878. And
Mhm.
again, the court will go on to expand what personal jurisdiction is beyond what's established here in Pennoyer, but we're going to start here. And I also want to warn this case is a little convoluted and it has quite a few characters. So,
Yeah.
from the top, this case
Yeah.
actually starts out as Mitchell versus Neff.
So this is actually a case within a case, right?
Kind of, yes. So, it
Okay.
actually starts with this guy, Mitchell. And
Mhm.
Mitchell is kind of this like kind of scandalous attorney. He's kind of known for being a little bit of a scam artist,
Oh.
but he represents Neff in the purchase of some land.
Mhm.
Now, even though Mitchell's the one that's got this reputation for being kind of a scam artist,
Mhm.
Neff goes, "Thanks for all your help with purchasing that land. I'm actually
Mhm.
going to dip out and go to California." So
Okay.
they do this deal in Oregon.
Okay.
He hops in his little horse and buggy and he goes to California. But he does not pay Mitchell.
Did he pay for the land? So, like, he owns the land for sure. He just didn't pay
He
the
owns the
attorney.
land, but he
Okay.
does not pay the attorney fees. So
Okay.
Mitchell's like, and this is 1878. So he's like, "Bro, where's the $300 you owe me?
Cue the Rihanna song, "B better have my money."
B better have my money." That's basically the plot of Pennoyer v. Neff. Put that when we post this on Instagram,
The song?
put that
Okay,
as the
perfect.
song. Hold on, I want to Google how much $300 in
Was in
1878.
1878. Okay, did you find it?
I did.
Okay.
Mitchell says, "Hey, where's that $300 you owe me?"
Mhm.
Which at first seems a little crazy, but again, remember that this is happening in 1878. So
Mhm.
in 1878, if you adjust for inflation, that's around $10,000 that Neff had dipped out on
In today's money.
in today's money.
Okay. I mean, I think I would still
So,
do that for $300, but maybe I just haven't
yeah,
made it big yet.
that tracks. That tracks. Listen, right now, we haven't made it big, so
I'm
I
calling
might
you for
track
that
somebody
300.
across state line. I might track somebody across state lines for $300 at this point.
Yeah.
So, Mitchell decides to sue. He's like, "That's
Mhm.
actually crazy. I'm gonna sue you for
Yeah.
breach of contract because you owe
Okay.
me $10,000."
Yeah.
So, he brings it to court in Oregon.
Mhm.
Now, again, all of this had happened in Oregon, but at this
Mhm.
point,
He's
Neff
not there,
has
right?
dipped out to California. Yeah, he's fully in
Yeah.
California. He's on Hollywood Boulevard. That didn't exist in 1878, but he's on Hollywood Boulevard.
He was making it.
He's with the Kardashians somehow. He has time traveled. He's with Kim, okay?
Okay, okay, okay.
So, again, remembering that this is the 1800s, it's not like he could just pop over to California from Oregon
Mhm.
or vice versa. This is a
Mhm.
trip that's gonna take you days, if not weeks, to complete.
And, like, how would you know where he is over there either?
Exactly, and then you have to go through the whole process of hunting down this random person
Mhm.
in a state without any form of modern technology. Rather than go through the headache of going to California and trying to find Neff or making the trip back and forth to California to handle his lawsuit in California,
Mhm.
Mitchell just decides to bring it in Oregon. And he
Yeah.
puts a notice in the local paper that says, "Hey, Neff, I'm suing you. And just so you know, that land you own here in Oregon,
Mhm.
that's collateral. That's what I'm going to take if you don't give me my money.
Yeah.
I'll just take this land instead."
Yeah.
So, as all this is happening, Mitchell's continuing to argue this in court. And eventually, Mitchell wins on a default judgment.
Can you let the listeners know what a default judgment is?
Yeah, so a default judgment basically says, hey, you didn't fight this in court, so the other party wins by default. It's basically
Mhm.
you didn't show up, so we have no proof that they're not telling us the truth.
Yeah.
So Mitchell wins a default judgment. He gets a writ of execution from the sheriff that basically
Wait, they're
says,
gonna execute him?
yes, that's what they're going to do.
No.
No, no. It's basically the sheriff saying he's going to now auction off this land,
Okay.
and whatever money is made from the sale is
Mhm.
going to go to Mitchell.
Okay.
So they get up there, they start doing the thing. "Ah, I see $1, can I get $2? Can I get $2? Blah, 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 blah." Okay, and you'll never guess who buys the land.
Who?
Mitchell, the attorney. He says, "Thank you,
How
I'll
much did
take
he pay
that."
for it? Did he get it for the $2?
So Mitchell fully purchases this land himself for
Mhm.
basically the same amount that he was owed, so roughly $300.
Yeah.
And now that he owns this land, he turns around and he sells it to Sylvester Pennoyer.
So this is where we go into the other part of the case then right now, right?
This is where we get the Pennoyer of it all. So he sells this land to Pennoyer.
Mhm.
And also, fun fact about Pennoyer, he will go on to be the governor of Oregon later.
Oh, cool. I wonder
Just
if
a
this is
little
what
fun
drove
fact.
him to go into politics.
Yeah, he was like, I actually hate this so much. Spoiler
Yeah.
alerts. So Pennoyer gets a sheriff's deed that says he
Mm,
owns the land, and
mhm.
he held the land for almost a decade. So Pennoyer
Pennoyer
is
did?
fully yeah, so Pennoyer is
Okay.
fully on this land for like 8 years,
Mhm.
just living his best life, going about his day to day.
Mhm.
Now, this is where it fades to black, open back up. We're in sunny California.
Mhm.
And Neff is walking down Hollywood Boulevard,
Mhm.
and somebody leans over and goes, "Oh my God, there's a guy living on your land, Neff. Some guy named Pennoyer is crashing on your land."
How did they know that?
And Neff goes, "That's, listen, I don't know how the gossip train managed to get back to Neff that somebody was on his land, but the gossip train couldn't get to him that he was being sued. But
I
it
mean, it
did
did
have
take
8
8
years."
years. Yeah, I was
I
gonna
was gonna say
say.
it did take 8 years for him to figure out that somebody was living on this land.
Yeah.
So, he goes back to Oregon
Mhm.
and he sues Pennoyer because he says, "That's not your land.
Yeah.
Mitchell didn't have a right to sell the land in the first place, so you don't have a claim to this land."
Mhm.
Hold on. So, essentially makes an argument that he was not given due process. So,
What's
under
that?
the 14th Whoa. So, Neff essentially argues that he was not given due process. And that's essentially a guarantee that someone cannot be stripped of liberty, rights to property, anything like that without due process of law, which means that they get a fair chance to go to court and plead their case.
Mhm.
So he says, how was I supposed to know
Mhm.
from California that Mitchell was suing me in Oregon just
Mhm.
because he put it in the newspaper?
Yeah.
And it also doesn't help that, like I said at the beginning, Mitchell was kind of known for being a scam artist. So
Yeah.
there's actually a little bit of controversy on whether or not Mitchell was ever even entitled to this money to begin with.
Okay.
But all of that to say, Neff essentially makes the argument of Mitchell had no right to sue me in the state of Oregon.
Mhm.
Therefore, he shouldn't have been able to get my land on a default judgment.
Mhm.
Therefore, he shouldn't have had the right to sell it to Pennoyer.
Mhm.
So the Supreme Court takes up this case,
Mhm.
basically asking the question of whether the court in question, the Oregon court,
Mhm.
could extend personal jurisdiction over a defendant who isn't present in the state.
Mhm.
So the court ends up holding that a state always has the power to serve a person who is currently in the state,
Mhm.
but it does not have the power to sue those who are not in the state. And Mitchell did not give Neff his due process simply
Mhm.
by putting his notice of intent to sue in the newspaper.
Mhm.
And so the Oregon court did not have power over Neff
Mhm.
to take his land. So essentially, the Supreme Court establishes the territorial principle as it
Mhm.
relates specifically to service of process, which is a person being informed that they are being sued. That's where you get
Mhm.
like the "you've been served" that
Mhm.
comes up all the time in media, and
Yeah.
due process. So the territorial principle basically says a state has the power to serve a person when they are within that state's borders, not
Mhm.
when they are beyond the state's borders.
So Pennoyer doesn't have any rights to the land anymore, even though he purchased it, paid for it, and lived on it for that long?
Yep, that's exactly what it means. So the court basically said that because the suit at the heart of the purchase of the property
Mm.
was faulty,
Mhm.
that even though Pennoyer had paid good money for it, and even though Pennoyer had now been living on it for 8 years, he did not have rights to that land, and the land had to be returned to Neff.
Alright.
Okay.
So, just to confirm, Pennoyer loses all of his rights to the land. He loses the money that he paid for it. It doesn't matter that he had the sheriff's deed. The land goes back to Neff because he didn't get his day in court
Exactly.
and he
Because Neff
wasn't
was not
served.
personally served with process and he did not get to appear in court, the judgment entered in default was not adequate.
He's out of luck.
He's out of luck. Unfortunately, Pennoyer is the real loser here, except for the
Yeah.
fact that he has a case that's known by his name, and he was
Mhm.
also the governor of Oregon later on.
Great. So could you give us the holding? I know we said it, but just for the listeners.
The holding in this case was no state can exercise direct jurisdiction and authority over persons or property without its territory. So, as if it's not within the borders of that state's territory, then the state cannot exercise jurisdiction.
Okay. I know that we did add some exciting new things to our tiers. Can we talk about that a little bit? What we've made for the listeners?
Yes. So by the time that you're listening to this, you should be able to go over to our Patreon and see that you can now purchase the bookmarks that Stephanie so beautifully designed. If you are a member of our Patreon on the Midnight Judges tier, you will receive one of these lovely bookmarks. But if there's one in particular that catches your eye, you can always purchase it in the separate link in the shop where you can peruse and pick which one, I don't know, really speaks to you, really catches your eye.
Yeah. So another item that you can get on the Midnights tier of our Patreon is Case Brief. So it's a template that will show you what you need to write down whenever you're assigned cases when you're in law school. So if you're about to go to law school, you're in law school, and you're kind of lost on how to organize it or get prepped for class, this is a PDF that we created so that you can download it and use it as many times as you want for as many cases as you want to make it a little bit easier.
And they are beautiful. They were beautifully designed by Stephanie and her wonderful mother. And I think that having something cute to like write down everything, I don't know, sometimes you just need to add a little bit of whimsy to law school. I used to color
Yeah.
code stuff all the time. Find the joy where you can.
Yeah, and also when you're first starting law school, it can be really overwhelming. So this can be like a really easy thing to be like, "Oh, okay. I did read this and I do know what the answer to this cold call is." So I'm just trying to make your lives a little bit easier. And another fun item we've added is our Civ Pro outline. So this is an outline that is also beautifully designed. You can use this for school, or if you're studying for the bar and you want some references that show images and makes it a little bit easier, if you sign up for our highest tier, which is,
Our
yeah,
Law Baddies tier, and that is a brainchild from our actual law school days with a little bit of pizzazz now that we actually know what we're talking about a little bit better.
yeah. So if you want to see what an outline looks like, or, well, of course, this one will be like designed to where it's the meat of the things that you'll learn. It's not going to go in depth on the cases because you'll find out in law school you don't need to memorize cases. You need to really understand the law and how it
Yeah,
applies.
especially depending on the professor, but 9 times out of 10, they do not want you regurgitating case names.
Yeah.
They want you to understand the rule itself.
Yeah.
And remember that if you're in the Law Baddies tier, you also get the cute little case brief because you get all of the fun stuff from Midnight Judges, plus some extra goodies. And maybe, just maybe, keep an eye on the Patreon because there may or may not be some really cool bonus content coming to it soon. So
Hmm.
pop on over there and sign up for one of the tiers.
Yeah. I will. I'm going to give them a spoiler. The Law Baddies tier is actually going to give you insight of things that we didn't know about until we got to law school. So, tests you have to take in order to practice law beyond the bar exam, and different things that would just be extremely helpful. So, if you're wanting all that information, sign up to our Patreon, click Law Baddies, be one of the Law Baddies with us, and get all the information.
Plus all the other cool little goodies
Yeah.
that our Midnight Judges are going to get and our Veil Piercers are going to get.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling so inclined and you'd like some little goodies, hop on over to the Patreon. You can also help us out by going over to the Instagram at
Legally Ponzanelli podcast.
and following us. Don't forget, you can also send us a DM on Instagram if there are any particular cases that you think we should cover. That's also where you can find Stephanie's beautiful breakdown of today's case that's going to give you the issue, the rule, the holding, all the fun things that you're going to need to know for class. And that's also where you can guess what next week's case is going to be. Who knows? Maybe we'll give you a shout out.
Yeah, you missed out on the $1,000,000 we gave out to this winner.
Yeah,
So,
we
we
literally
won't.
gave a gift to no one because no one guessed it.
Yeah, but that gift, we don't like to reuse gifts, so, it won't be the same one.
Yeah, so we won't be doing that again, unfortunately. But you can, baby girl, please,
She does not
let's
care.
try that again.
Mhm,
She does not care. No, not even a little bit. She's tired of hearing about Pennoyer v. Neff. We're not
mhm.
even talking about that anymore. Mommy's begging for money on the internet. Okay.
I'm keeping that.
No, please don't. Please don't.
No, I'm gonna have to keep that.
Not now, baby. Mommy's begging for money on the internet.
I just know Abby's gonna be like, "You guys are so unhinged," because she texted me as soon as she heard us singing.
Oh my god, it was like, "What was that?" Okay, well,
Yeah,
joke's on her, John Legend reached out to me, so
yeah, joke is
I don't
on
know
her.
why. Joke's on her. It's all fun and games until I'm literally a multi-platinum recording artist. Then what?
Uh,
Anyway, you can also go to the TikTok and follow us. Stephanie actually made a whole new TikTok just for the podcast, so you can follow us
Yes.
at
Legally dot Ponzanelli on TikTok.
Don't forget the dot. It's really important. But you can also follow Legally Ponzaneli. No dot. That's just Stephanie,
Yeah.
just living her best life. But now there's a whole separate one for the podcast. It will still mostly be Stephanie, but go check it out anyway because she does cool stuff over there.
Yeah. And if you're interested in sponsoring our wonderful podcast, just send us an email at legallyponzanelli@gmail.com. We both respond to that. We both check that email. So reach out to us. Should we sing goodbye again?
I think we should just say bye. I really need to preserve my vocals for John. It's really important for him. Well, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.